Today, we're popping the hood on your nervous system to figure out exactly why you're so exhausted, and more importantly, how to fix it using high-performance mechanics. If you've ever felt like no matter how many hours you sleep, you still wake up completely drained, well, you're in the right place. We're going to stop treating your burnout like a time management failure and start treating it like an engine that's chronically redlining.
Let's kick things off with a massive reframe. The secret fuel of burnout isn't actually having too much to do, it's that you're using stress as your decision-making strategy. Think about what that really means. You aren't failing at organizing your calendar, you're just using your RPM gauge as the limit for your to-do list. You're basically saying, I'm just gonna keep throwing sticks on the fire until I literally can't breathe. For a lot of us, we only feel safe saying no to a new project when we're on the absolute verge of a panic attack.
So we've got to ask a tough question right out of the gate to figure out what's really happening inside your body. Are you just tired and in need of a quick recharge? Or is the engine actively blowing out? We constantly mix up normal end-of-day tiredness with a systematic physiological collapse. And let me tell you, treating an engine blowout with a quick weekend nap is a lot like trying to fix a blown transmission with a fast oil change. Sure, it's a nice gesture, but you're still not getting out of the driveway come Monday morning.
It's time to bust a huge myth. We throw around decision fatigue and burnout like they're the exact same thing, but they're absolutely not. Decision fatigue is a cognitive tax. When you're constantly context switching between emails, Slack messages, and back-to-back meetings, your brain pays a switching tax. It's like a laptop running low on battery. You aren't broken. You just need to plug in for a bit. Burnout, on the other hand, is chronic. It's like the hard drive is actually failing. It's a systematic breakdown of your biology that leads to emotional detachment and total physical depletion.
Section 1. The dashboard warning lights. Think about our historical work patterns for a second. Hunter-gatherers had intense bursts of hunting, right? But that was followed by long periods of rest. Farmers worked unbelievably hard during planting and harvest, but they had entire seasons of natural downtime. Then the Industrial Revolution hit, and factory workers had their pay tied to consistent, year-round daily hours, which totally removed those natural seasons. Today, as knowledge workers, it's somehow even worse. Our output isn't measured in physical grain or widgets, so employers use busyness and constant availability as a proxy for productivity. We measure our worth by endless context switching, treating a flooded inbox like it's a bountiful harvest. And that completely strips away our natural, biological right to just slow down.
Section 2, Biology of the Engine.
Here's where things get really fascinating. There's a concept called immobilization with fear. When you've burned through your vital energy for years on end, your body enters a chronic threat response. To make sure you survive, your nervous system intelligently forces a shutdown to conserve whatever energy is left. It's kind of like an oak tree during a severe drought. It will literally kill off its own limbs just to preserve the core of the tree. So when you can't get out of bed and the mere thought of doing the dishes feels like climbing Mount Everest, you aren't being lazy. Your biology is actively down-regulating to save your life.
So, how do we prevent this total biological shutdown? We have to look at the math. Research from Amelia Nagoski mathematically proves that your engine requires a strict 42% of its cycle dedicated solely to rest and recovery. That's non-negotiable. If you don't intentionally schedule this 42% for sleep, exercise, human connection, and mindful downtime, your biology is eventually going to take it from you by force, usually in the form of illness or total burnout.
Section 3. Redefining stress. Let's talk about a totally staggering number, 43%. In an 8-year study tracking 3,000 people, researchers looked at the relationship between stress and mortality. They found a 43% increased risk of dying. But, and this is a massive but, that risk only existed for the people who believed their stress was actually harmful to them. For the people who had high stress but viewed it as their body just preparing them for a challenge, the risk of death didn't increase at all. Mind-blowing, right? Your mindset literally dictates your biological response. Which leads us directly to this undeniable truth. Short-term stress is actually an evolutionary feature. It's a biological fuel injection of adrenaline and cortisol meant to help you sprint away from a predator or absolutely crush a major presentation. But chronic stress, leaving that switch flipped on for months without any recovery, that's the poison. It literally melts the engine. It damages your artery walls, increases belly fat, which actually acts as an inflammatory organ, and it shortens the telomeres on your DNA, physically aging your cells faster.
But nature actually gave us a built-in coolant system for this. You've probably heard of oxytocin as the love or cuddle hormone, but it's actually a vital stress hormone too. When you reach out for help, connect with a friend, or care for someone else, your body pumps out oxytocin. And this hormone actively protects your cardiovascular system. It literally relaxes the blood vessels that stress just tightened up. Meaning, genuine human connection is one of the most powerful, physiologically proven stress-relieving medicines you have access to.
Section 4. Essential Maintenance Protocols.
We have to stop talking about fluffy, vague self-care and start doing concrete, physiological cool-down laps. First up, Zone 2 cardio. That means working out at 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. This tunes your engine for mitochondrial efficiency and helps pull the nervous system completely out of that sympathetic threat response. Second, strict sleep hygiene. This isn't just about resting your eyes, it is the mandatory pit stop for physical tissue repair and cognitive consolidation. And third, gut microbiome care. Your gut-brain axis is absolutely crucial for regulating inflammation and your mood. If your fuel system is contaminated, your engine is going to misfire.
Section 5. The long race. We absolutely have to break the urgency trap. Productivity expert Cal Newport offers this incredibly practical piece of advice. Double your timelines on all cognitive projects. Seriously, just double them. As humans, we are notoriously awful at guessing how long deep cognitive work actually takes. By simply doubling your initial timeline, you create a natural pacing. You finally give yourself the margin required to produce high-quality work without constantly redlining your nervous system.
And to help manage all that mental load, we can actually apply Toyota's famous pull system straight to our brains. Instead of letting a massive, terrifying to-do list push you into a panic, organize your work into 3 stages. First, the backlog. That's just a holding tank for all your ideas. Second, the sprint. That's your active, highly limited focus for the week. And third, you only pull a new task from the backlog when an active task is 100% finished. This single shift can literally cut the overhead tax on your cognitive bandwidth in half. Ultimately, doing fewer things is what allows you to obsess over quality. Let's look at the reality of a graphic designer mentioned in our sources. She deliberately slashed her workload by 50% so she could focus entirely on quality. The result? She produced vastly superior work, she was able to charge way higher rates, and she made 90% of her original revenue while working literally half the hours. Focused, high-quality output beats frantic, rushed busyness every single time. Here is the ultimate reality check for your schedule. You are dealing with the reality of your time, not with the gut feeling about how busy you are feeling at that moment. If you want to survive and thrive as a high performer, you have got to stop using anxiety and the absolute edge of collapse as your only signals that it's safe to say no to a new project. You have to start managing your reality, not your panic.
I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Will you keep treating your burnout as a personal failing, or will you finally start maintaining your engine like the high-performance machine it actually is? Winning the long race means respecting your biological limits, scheduling your cooldown laps, and choosing long-term sanity over short-term engine failure. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the mindset engine, and I really hope this helps you build a more sustainable, powerful way to work.